What's up? It's your boy JV Sport Talk, not new podcast. We got bettors here.
What's
What's
up,
happening
everybody?
today? Doing some futures. What's going on, betters?
Not much, man. How are you?
Hey man, it's good to have you back on the scene. I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Hey, glad to be back. Glad to be back. It's a little early. I'm not used to doing shows about NFL futures, like I was telling you before the show. I'm used to doing it by week basis, but
Right.
figure we can talk about it anyways today. Thought we'd start off with some divisional winners, our predictions. You there, JB?
Yeah, I'm totally down.
Cool, man.
We can start off there. I'm just
Yeah.
sharing this out.
AFC West, I know you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I do have the Chiefs winning that division. Um,
That's gonna be a
no,
gauntlet, man.
yeah, yeah. And if they don't win, I think the Broncos win the division, but I do like the Chiefs to win that division. What do you think? Do you like the Chiefs to win that division as well?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a dogfight. I'll tell you that. Um, I got them winning the division, though. To be honest with you. But you got the boys with the Broncos and the Chargers. They're going to be right behind us. I
Mhm.
think they're going to probably tie for second, and Raiders are going to claim third.
Yeah. We were talking about this, I think, yesterday. The Chiefs have won nine straight division titles. I think they've won eight, right? Patrick Mahomes has won every year that he's been in the league.
Yeah. Yep.
The
AFC Championship, no less.
the Chiefs went 5-1 in the division last season. They, from my understanding, have a healthy Rasheed Rice, Hollywood Brown.
Yep. And we're not having to worry about no suspension with Rasheed Rice right now, so he'll be back at it. We got that new cat, Jalen Royals, that they just drafted as well. I'm really excited about him.
Yeah,
I think it's
and then
more so the
worst
name.
case scenario, man, something bad happens to Mahomes. They got Minshew as their backup now, who I think could come in and if it was a short term injury that Mahomes was dealing with, Minshew could manage a little bit, maybe ease the bleeding. Just kind of depends on how long Mahomes is out, but hopefully Mahomes has a healthy season.
Yeah,
But
he's done really well keeping healthy his career.
yeah, now the last team to win the AFC West, other than the Chiefs, was the 2015 Broncos. So it was that
Hmm.
go. Um, The Broncos defense is projected to be one of the best, is what I'm hearing. They just picked up Evan Ingram, the tight end, two-time Pro Bowler, which gives Bo Nix another much-needed target to throw to. They picked up J.K. Dobbins and drafted R.J. Harvey. Now, do you
Yeah,
think?
that Harvey's going to be good. I'm just not sold on JK with his injuries in the past, man. To be honest
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, I hear you, man. Do you think that they've upgraded their backfield? Denver
Oh,
getting rid of
absolutely.
Javante Williams and picking up those two guys.
Yeah, I do. I do. I think they're really they got some high expectations for that backfield. I do at least.
Uh,
I think it is going to be a lot better than it has been in the past. To be honest with you.
Now I know that you did a show about the Denver Broncos just the other day. I think. Did those guys or did that guy, you know, like Dobbins and Harvey?
Dobbins or Harvey. What? Repeat
You,
that.
you, you did a show about the Broncos the other day, didn't you? Or somebody
Yeah,
did?
yeah. A Train and Southgate did a Broncos show yesterday afternoon.
If you
Yeah,
can
they can.
if you can recall, what did they think about Dobbins and Harvey?
Oh, they like Harvey. And Dobbins, from my understanding. I know at the start Southgate was a little worrisome, or had a little bit of worries about J.K. Dobbins. He wasn't very sold on him because of his injury, but more and more I know as he's times went on, he is he's more fond of him. He likes the dual back threat that they possess now. Sorry. So they like Harvey, but their speculation was is, hey, if you're going and you draft this guy, right, but then you guys go and pick somebody up, they were thinking, hey, did they see something in camp or something that they didn't like? Is there a reason that they're reaching out to another, running back? You know, um, and I think we've come to the conclusion that that's not the case. He is young. Why not have a dual running back threat? I mean, J.K. Dobbins does something different than Harvey. It's just something that Sean Payton, he likes to tool around with out there.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to get zoned in on like one team specifically during this segment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just wanted to touch base on the Broncos and Chiefs and Chargers real quick. Now, the Raiders. Do you think that the Raiders have any chance to steal this division?
First place, no. All right. Um, but as far as like possibly contending for that third spot, maybe, third spot, yeah.
I mean, they got Geno Smith at quarterback now. They got that rookie running back,
Yep.
and Mostert as the backup there. I think they could be okay.
Yeah,
This
they got a decent defense. With Crosby and everything like that.
I just don't see
And
them
then
contending that for that first place in the AFC West.
yeah, definitely not. They're definitely not getting that first place. They're a couple years behind, right?
Yeah,
You've seen what Denver and the Chargers did last year, right? In the last 2 years, how they've been building. The Raiders have just gotten to that point where they're doing that right now, right?
yeah.
So they're a little behind, but do I believe that in the next couple of years they could be exactly where the Raiders are? I mean, the Chargers and the Broncos. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, I do.
So, just to recap the AFC West real quick, who would you say if you had to choose one, two, three, four? Who would you go with out of the AFC West? I have to go one Chiefs, two Broncos, three Chargers, four Raiders.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. It's gonna be Chiefs. Um, Chiefs. Man. I'm gonna go Chiefs, Chargers, and then that third spot, dude. I think no. Well, hold on a second. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Man. Yeah, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I really, like I said, I really see like that's like my more logical choice, right? My other one is like I really think the Raiders can put up a fight for that third spot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, what you just said, your prediction for this upcoming season is exactly what happened last year. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Yeah. I don't see it moving too much. I mean, if it does, it does. But
Yeah. So then we got the AFC East: Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets. The Bills have won five straight division titles. They were 5-1 in divisional games last season. They have last year's MVP Josh Allen, a quarterback. Um, I think they are a better all-around team going into this season than they were last season with some of the off-season pickups that I've heard that they've made. getting Bosa, Joey Bosa, Dane Jackson, Joshua Palmer, Elijah Moore. So I think the Bills are still the team to beat in the AFC East, and that's who I got winning that division. For my
Yeah.
sleeper team, I got to go. Well, sleeper just meaning if the Bills don't win it, I think the Dolphins can win it. I just think the Dolphins have better positional players than the Patriots do.
Right.
Uh, but the thing about the Dolphins, man, is I can't trust Tua to protect himself from getting concussed. So I
Nope.
really can't trust him to lead his team to a divisional title. And I've heard you say this a lot, and other people say this a lot, that the Dolphins have trouble playing when the weather gets a little colder.
Hmm.
Um, the
And it's
Bills
not
are
even
just
just.
an experienced team,
Mhm.
and the Patriots did pick up Diggs this offseason, but I don't think that'll be enough to get them the divisional title. And then, I would like to see Justin Fields succeed with the Jets, but they don't have any chemistry quite yet.
Actually, so go back on your Jets comment right there real quick. So, their chemistry is actually more than what you think. So you do know that Garrett Wilson went to college with Justin Fields and was his number one, number two wide receiver, right?
Hmm.
Along with Chris Olave, which the Jets have been rumored since the end of. I called this move. I'll tell you what, I called this move before it was like right after the Super Bowl ended or right before it played, and I called Justin Fields to the Jets reuniting with his wide receiver Garrett Wilson and possibly reuniting with Chris Olave. I think that's still very possible with what's going on in New Orleans and their cap space
Yeah.
problems. I think Olave could end up, and he also has a concussion issue, so I think that could be something that he could go over there.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. And
And then with the thing with the conference, the Dolphins, yeah, they could. Who's this? They could be catching up to doing some stuff like that, But the thing is, with it, um, same same thing with when the Raiders were, or not the Raiders, but the Patriots were going in and doing their things. There was nobody in that conference to challenge them. You know, that's one thing. There's definitely been a difference between Kansas City and them. Kansas City has had challenges in their division, unlike man or Brady. But that's besides the point. Um, I like the Bills in that division as well. I think that the Patriots can definitely um, have definitely closed a little bit of a gap in the window to catching up to them. I like Vrabel, Diggs. You know, he could make some type of change. He could definitely help in a sense. You seen what he did when he came onto the scene and um, what do you call it? Houston. I mean, dude was lighting it up until he got hurt. So, I mean, there's a possibility that something could really, really transpire with that. You know,
yeah.
is it
Now,
likely? Nah.
who would you say has better positional players on the offensive side of the ball? New England, Miami, or the Jets? Because I mean that's arguable. I think Miami, and I think what really separates them is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but the thing is this, okay? It's really not Tyreek Hill that separates them, even though the guy's really, really, really freaking fast, right? What
Hmm.
really comes to and separates him is good quarterback play. If he does not have good quarterback play, and it's been proven, he does not produce. I mean, he went what 5 weeks last year without Tua and didn't even get 300 yards. Come on, bro. So you telling me that Scary Terry can go out there and have the exact same type of quarterback play with that Hill had for 5 games, and he can ball out and get 1,000 yards? I mean, to me, Scary Terry is a better wide receiver than Tyreek Hill. The Arsenal, though, between the offensive weapons, man, what's Miami got? Waddle and Hill,
And now they have Darren Waller, coming out of
and Darren Waller, but he didn't play football in 2 years. He's been
true.
in the booth making beats in the
Yeah.
lab, tapping it up with
Achan,
John Gruden.
Achan. I don't know. I look
Achan's been younger.
if Darren Waller can, get back to somewhat close to his former self, man. I think this is a pretty dangerous team. And I'm pretty sure when I was looking at passing yards leaders in 2023, I think Tua led. Yeah, he led the league in passing yards in 2023. So I think
But he was also able
we'll
to stay
talk about
healthy
that.
the entire year.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I think he could possibly do that again.
If he can stay healthy, man. That's
Yep,
it. That's the only thing.
right. And once again, man, I've lost faith in him being able to slide and protect himself from getting concussed, man. So I mean, I really can't trust him. All I'm trying to say is that if the Bills don't win this division, I think the Dolphins take it. But who do you think, JB? Who do you think has the better positional players? Dolphins, New England with Diggs, Matt Collins, Hunter Henry, and Ramondre Stevenson, or the Jets with Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, Brees Hall.
I mean, let's be real here. I mean, obviously it's gonna be Miami with those names. I mean, on paper. I mean, really, who is everybody else? I mean, Stephon Diggs can't stay healthy. Um, you gotta go with I don't know. Hold on, because the Bills got a pretty good little arsenal over there. I'm just saying, with Coleman,
Oh yeah.
they what's his name? Face just left too. I forgot about that Higgins or whatever. So he ain't gonna be there. Yeah, it's definitely got to be my guy. I mean, not just on paper, but what we've seen in production.
Mhm. That's what I'm thinking too. Miami. Um, so I think m- if I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in this division, I got to go Bills in first place, Dolphins in second, Patriots in third, Jets in fourth. Although
I'm
I
gonna
would like
go
the Jets
Bills,
to do
Patriots,
good, man. I'm
Dolphins,
not
Jets.
a fan, but I do like Justin Fields, and it's nice to see him with a different team.
Yeah, I like it. I like the fresh start for him.
Now, how is the Patriots defense supposed to be compared to the Dolphins?
Mm,
Um, Hold on real quick, JB.
hmm Tell you the truth, I'm not even educated on that one. Um,
No, that's cool, man. I'm kind of just looking at these rankings right here. I don't think either defense is supposed to be
too
particular.
spectacular.
Right. It looks like from what I'm seeing just on this first source here, which is Bleacher Report, I'm
Hmm.
seeing that both of these defenses are supposed to be below average with the Patriots and Dolphins and the Jets. But the Bills, I think they're ranked pretty high on this list. Bills. Where did I see them at?
I'm
They
not
got
surprised.
they got them ranked third here. I think they've made some offseason pickups uh, on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, I think the Bills could be pretty good this year. Anyways, who do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, just right now. And once again, this is still just like an early look. Obviously, things can change.
Right.
We're in what it's middle of July right now. It's beginning of July. So obviously things can change. But as of today, who do you like? 1, 2, 3, 4 in that division.
Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and we'll go
Jets.
Jets. Yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool. AFC North. Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns.
Yeah, that's another gauntlet right there. We know
So,
that. That right there's black and blue. Yeah, what's up, Common? You know, that's black and blue central over there.
so the Ravens, they've won the division the past 2 years. They've won the division the past 4 out of 10 years. I specifically wanted to ask you this question to see your thoughts about this, JB, because
Hmm.
you're, you're the Chiefs fan. What do you think about the Ravens picking up DeAndre Hopkins? How big of an impact will he make?
So here's the deal. I don't know how well he actually fits into their system, right? Okay, so you look at Kansas City, the reason why Kansas City did not retain DeAndre Hopkins, all right, is because he does not fit into the mold of wide receiver that Mahomes plays with, right? He tried it. He has all them fast, speedy guys, right? Won the Super Bowl. I mean, he went on. He went on to the next year. We had a big problem with turnovers, tip passes, all this stuff. Mahomes wanted big body possession wide receivers, right? Um, um, so we go out and we try to acquire that. Well, it didn't really work. So when we brought in DeAndre Hopkins, it was really just more so as a threat, you know, a smoke screen, if you would, to help us just get somebody else open, as a decoy. I know there was some games he did kind of ball out, but Mahomes doesn't like putting the ball in a position where he could possibly get the ball tipped, turnover, the exact same thing. So DeAndre Hopkins didn't
Are you
Okay.
there?
Yeah, yeah. I just had gotten a phone call. So with that being said, like I know, like there's been a couple of different body types of wide receivers out there, in Baltimore. I don't think they necessarily know exactly what kind of wide receiver type they want because they keep on going back and forth. Now I do know that they did go. They do have like a lot of like taller, faster wide receivers, from my recollection. They like speed, and they also like somebody that can run block because obviously they do a lot of running. So I don't think he's going to make too big of an impact out there. I think he's going to be another. I mean, look, they got Zay Flowers, they got Bateman, and then him. Likely, I just don't. I don't see him making too much of too big of an impact.
Okay, okay. I mean, personally, I think that's what the Ravens were lacking last year was a receiver. I wish they could have got a little bit better of a receiver. From my understanding, isn't DeAndre Hopkins kind of trending uh, downwards from his prime?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was hoping that the Ravens would maybe go get a better wide receiver than that, but I think it's doable for the Ravens if they want to make a not just win this division but make a Super Bowl run. But their biggest vulnerability last season was their pass defense. If they can clean that up, they can be a very dangerous, not only defense, but very dangerous team. They ranked first last season, the Ravens did, in rushing yards allowed per game, but they ranked 27th in passing yards allowed per game. But they made another big acquisition during the offseason here. They got that cornerback, Alexander. Um, I've heard he's had some injury issues, but if he can stay healthy, I really like that move for the Ravens too. If Hopkins and Alexander can, stay healthy, I think the Ravens might finally have what it takes to win the not only this division, and that's my pick to win this division, but the Super Bowl as well. No, the Bengals defense was below average last year, and I don't really see that changing much from the research I've done past couple days. Um, I think Joe Burrow would have to play out of his mind, which he's capable of, but I think he would have to play out of his mind to steal the divisional title away from the Ravens. But I do think that the Steelers have a better shot at winning the division than the Bengals do, specifically because of the Steelers' defense, but also they have a veteran quarterback with Aaron Rodgers now.
That's gonna be good. I've been calling that for a couple years now.
And he's got Metcalf to throw to. Robert,
Yes.
I mean, I'm really excited to see what this Pittsburgh team's about.
I think they really should have held on to GP though, man. And I think like the thing is with that whole trade scenario, they've done some moves this offseason. I think they just really traded, you know, a fry for a fry. You know what I mean? I mean there wasn't necessarily no upgrade to it. I don't see um on either side of the ball. I think if they would have held on to what they had and basically just try to buy a Super Bowl this year, I think they could have had a lot better of a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like keep Minka, add Ramsey. I think but getting rid of Minka, moving Ramsey to a safety spot that he's played corner his whole life. I know safety's not too much of a transition, but um and then getting rid of George Pickens and bringing in DK, and they all have attitude problems, and DK and Ramsey don't get along, and it's like, dude, what are you guys really doing out there? It's very questionable. I think I am excited for Rodgers. I've wanted to see him out there, but when it comes down to it, are they gonna mesh? I don't know. Did they get any better? I don't really I don't really know if anybody can say they essentially did get better. They got a better quarterback, yes, but everywhere else, you know, I don't see any type of improvement. I just, like I said, I see going from one to the next.
Yeah. And then just one other point that I want to bring up same thing with Mahomes, worst case scenario, and I don't want to see it happen, but you know, it's always a possibility of anybody getting injured out there. They got Minshew that could potentially come in and minimize the damage of Mahomes' absence. But where I was getting at is that Cooper Rush is now the backup in Baltimore. So if Lamar Jackson were to go down with a short term injury, I think Cooper Rush could come in there and
But the thing is with that, okay, so hear me out with this. Okay, so say he does bar an injury, right?
yeah.
Okay, now is their backup quarterback play this? Does he play the same type of game style that Lamar Jackson plays?
Mm-mm.
No, 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 no. Does does
They'd have to change their game plan a little bit for sure. Be Henry.
Dallas's situation with their backup and Dak play similar style? Yeah, they actually do. They would have to change their entire. And that's the thing with Kansas City is Kansas City's always done this. And besides, earlier on with like Moore and Henny, but they were still kind of similar players. They stick to the same style of quarterback one to quarterback two. That way, there is not just bearing, possibility of injury.
Yeah,
There is nothing. We don't have to change a lot of the game plan, the style, the offensive scheme. It can kind of stay the same. You know what I mean?
right.
So as far as the Ravens, I mean Cooper Rush, yeah, he's done phenomenal in Dallas as a backup, but
Different system in
how are
Baltimore.
they going to do that different system between it's a more of a running style versus a RPO quarterback versus more of a stand up quarterback?
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, good point, man. Okay, so AFC North, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got the Ravens. Once again, this all could change, but as of July 8th, 2025. I got the Ravens coming in first place, Steelers in second, Bengals in third, Browns in fourth. And, we really didn't even talk about the Browns. What do they got going on, man? They got Flacco at quarterback. I mean, I don't really even want to talk about the Browns too much here.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. They don't even know what their situation is over there.
I think they could be decent. You know what I mean? They got Deontay Johnson, Jerry Judy,
Yeah.
David Njoku, Jerome Ford. I think they could be kind of good. Win a few games, but who do you got ranked in the AFC North?
I got Ravens, Pittsburgh, Cincy, and Cleveland.
Okay, so we're on the same page on in that division as of right now. Then we got the AFC South: Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and Titans. Texans have won that division the past 2 years. They're projected to have a great defense, and the offense is decent. It'll be exciting to see what Nick Chubb brings to the Houston Texans offense. They already have Mixon, um, but be cool to see what value Chubb brings. The other three teams in this division, other than Houston, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee, are projected below average defenses. Now, some people think, and I think you may have been one of these people, uh, but some people think that Daniel Jones could have some success with the Colts, but I personally just don't trust him. So I'd have to.
Yes, Southgate was saying that that's his. Well, a lot of people have been saying, the Jets or the Giants, and Southgate. He likes Daniel Jones is comeback player of the year.
Okay. I mean, I could see it. I think one of his big problems, from my understanding, one of his big problems in New York was that offensive line.
Yes, we
So, do we know how good or this Colts offensive line is?
Colts was like number two best offensive line last year, I think.
Let me let me look at this Pro Football Network
No, they're up there. They have one of the better offensive lines, if
on
not best.
on the computer here. Look to see where they have the Colts ranked. And different sources are going to tell you different stuff. They have them ranked as at 16th offensive line. Let me
Mid.
see what they got the Giants ranked at. Giants at 28th. So he's got an upgrade, right, with the offensive line. He should be able to have some more time. I would be interested to see, for people that are thinking about, the Colts winning this division. I would be interested to see the statistics on Daniel Jones when he has, more time in the pocket and he's not
Right.
getting sacked to death.
But you know that a lot of the reason why that he even got that extension was because of Barkley's play and everything like that. Wasn't because of Daniel Jones. Wasn't because of an offensive line.
Yeah.
A good running game can benefit you big time.
Yep. And he's still got out there in Indianapolis. I think he still has, or he's going to have Jonathan Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor.
Good running game. We got a guy Stino from No Man. He's a Colt fan.
I mean, I would like to see him now. I'm seeing on this website that he's projected to be the starter over Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, and I think that's just because of injury.
Okay,
He's kind of experiencing some shoulder problems since last
Anthony
year.
Richardson is.
Hmm?
Anthony Richardson is.
Yep. Same thing he had surgery on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just starting to now get back into football. I don't know exactly every little detail that's going on. We're in the middle of July, but it's a good time to start
Yeah,
uh,
Hall of Fame games the 31st.
getting ourselves and picking up where we left off last season. So, in this division, man, it's a boring division for me. Whenever I look at this division, I'm not too excited to see any of these teams play, except I am excited to see what Travis Hunter is going to bring to the Jaguars. The Jaguars, a lot of people think that they can have a pretty decent season. They have a new head coach, from my understanding. Yeah, I'm excited to see what how Travis Hunter meshes with the Jaguars. But just give me in this division, give me the Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and Titans in that order. What about you, JB?
Uh, you want to repeat that one real quick? I had something going on.
And a lot of this that I'm talking about is chalk, man. So I'm just flipping, a couple teams around. This is the projected order that it's supposed to be in, and that's what I think is going to happen in the AFC South. Number one, Texans. Two, Jaguars. Three, Colts. Four, Titans.
No, so I got Um, the Texans. Jacksonville's my number four.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go with the Titans because of their defense. I think they're only a quarterback play. They could be only a quarterback play away. Colts could be the same thing. I just think they have a little bit more to work with. So I'm gonna put them at three. So Texans, Titans, Colts, Jags.
I mean, just touching up on the Titans again. They got Cam Ward at quarterback. There's just a lot of we don't know exactly what we're going to get from the Jaguars and the Colts and the Titans, you know, because they have new quarterbacks, new players, not Jacksonville, but the Colts and Titans do. Um, what do you think about Cam Ward, man? I'm hearing good things about him.
Yeah.
If he turns out to be a really good player early on, the Titans could make a run for it. They got, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett,
Yep. They got a good defense.
Pollard at run.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. He's been known to show out. Yeah, I
yeah,
like the Titans. They could be definitely good. They could be a threat.
yeah. So you got the Texans winning that division, right? And then
Yeah.
the Colts, Titans, Jaguars.
Yep.
Cool, man. All right, moving
No,
on.
I got Texans, Titans, Colts, Jags. Yeah.
Since Titans, Colts, Jags. Cool, cool. NFC North, Lions, Packers, Vikings, and the Bears.
Oh my. So the Packers, I see the Packers taking second in that division. The Lions are probably going to take full control of it. Um, and then uh, the Bears, I see that they could possibly slide into that third spot, maybe contend for that second. This is another gauntlet. So actually, hold on a second.
It
We
is,
got
man.
we got. I think Detroit. It's going to be Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, and the Bears. That's how I think it's going to roll out. I just don't know about McCarthy.
Right.
The loss of going between that, but you do get the quarterback whisperer, so we'll have to wait and see how that works. I mean, almost anybody could put the ball up over there. You got Addison and Jay Jettas.
Now I know the Lions last season. They won the division, right?
Yeah,
They won the division, and they were dealing with a lot of injuries.
yeah, yeah.
on the defensive side of the ball, and I think they're getting a lot of those people back.
Yep, they'll be fully healthy.
So their defense is going to be better. Their offense is still good. I trust Jared Goff over every quarterback in this division.
Yeah, I
Haven't seen
agree.
A. McCarthy play. Um, the Packers are solid, but are they ready to get past the Lions for the division? I don't really think so. I think the only way the Lions lose the division is if McCarthy catches me by surprise.
Right, same here. But there is a chance that they could over there, just because simple fact. I mean, and most anybody can put that ball up and score.
Yeah, I'm torn on who's going to finish second, third, and fourth in this division. I do like the Lions to come in first. Let me just pull up these depth charts real quick. There was a game, I think it was last season, that I saw Jordan Love play in, and it may have been against the Lions. It was raining pretty bad, and he couldn't get grip of the ball. It kept slipping out of his hands. And it was in that moment where I was just like, dude, if there's any bad weather that this guy plays in, it could it could be bad for the Packers
Yep,
and Jordan Love.
yep.
Like
I remember what game you're talking about too.
he played really, really bad. I think if he gets that under control and learns how to take care of the ball a little bit better when there's bad weather outside, I think the Packers could win this division. But
It really depends on Jordan Love at that point. I think.
yeah, and then the Bears. Who do they got at quarterback now? Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, yeah. I would still have to go Lions. I guess I'll be chalky here. Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Vikings in second place in that division. Give me the Lions, Vikings, Bears, and that's really
Vikings. You said what?
what
You said what? Vikings, Lions, Vikings, Packers,
Lions,
Bears.
Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Vikings take second place.
See, I got Detroit, Green Bay. I'm gonna give the Bears. I'm gonna give the Bears the third spot because, like I said, that McCarthy whole situation being his first year, everything like that, just too many red flags for me.
Yeah. Now the Vikings, their pass defense was bad last season, from my understanding. If they clean that up, they should have one of the better defenses. Let me just double check that. Passing yards allowed per game last season. Yeah, Minnesota allowed the fourth most passing yards per game last season. So if they clean that up, they need to.
Absolutely.
Then I could see the Vikings getting in second place. If not, I could see them dropping down to fourth. NFC West. 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
This is a another mid tier conference, I say.
Yeah, this division is.
Very up in the air.
Yeah, I think this is the most like questionable, division in football right now in terms of who's going to win. Um, I have to go with the Rams in this division. They won the division last season. They have Devontae Adams now, although Cooper Cup is gone. On paper, I do think that the Rams have the best offense in this division, and really the question is for me. Um, I'll get to the 49ers here in a second, but it's going to be Stafford versus Darnold. Who has the edge in that game? So Seattle is projected to have the best defense out of all the teams in this division.
And I can
But
see that with Mike McDonald.
we saw what Darnold did last season against the Lions in a
Easy.
game where he could have won the division for the Vikings. They lost 31-9 in that game.
Yep.
So just based on that, let's say Darnold's faced with a similar situation this season. I trust, uh, you know, Matt Stafford, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, over not only Darnold but the other two quarterbacks in this division. The 49ers, they were a big disappointment last season. They finished 6-11, last place in the division, and I don't see how. I mean, I do think that they could do a little bit better record wise, but they just got rid of what Debo Samuel.
Yep. He's now a commander. They got rid of DK, they got rid of Lockett, they got JSN, and they picked up Cooper Cup. So there's a whole new scheme and everything going on over there. You have a new quarterback, and the wide receiving corp has been completely um ripped up and shredded, and they've changed it. Um, the only one that would be familiar is JSN, but that just tells you where they how they view him. Uh, I think it could be very interesting. The thing is, though, we go back to the same conversation we left from Minnesota. When you go to um, Darnold, man, can Darnold do it? Is Darnold the guy? I'm not sold. I'm gonna treat this. I know he's a veteran, but I'm gonna treat it like a rookie quarterback play, and I'm not moved by it. I can't put Sam Darnold's success last year in a ranking and say, oh yeah, this guy's gonna change the franchise, or you know what I mean? Like basically, Bo Nix and JD5 had a phenomenal year last year. Does that mean that they're gonna have one this year? No, it could, Dude could fall flat on his face. I mean, the guy was seeing ghosts on the field 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't have that quarterback guru coach anymore. So is he going to have? A lot of people say that it's systematic quarterbacks, and for instance, Mahomes wouldn't have been the same quarterback if he didn't land with Andy Reid. Well, is Sam Darnold going to be the same? Because the deal is he ain't never been the same up until he went and chilled with Kevin O'Connell.
mhm,
So I don't really, I'm not moved by Darnold at all, at all.
yeah, yeah. And then you got the Cardinals, Kyler Murray. I think he's statistically it might tell me otherwise, but based on just what I've seen from him, he's a bit inconsistent.
Yep. I think this is his. I know. I'm pretty sure he just got a contract not too long ago. But I think this is where the rubber meets the road with him. I think it's really crunch time. He's got to get over that hump and show production,
Yeah.
growth. Dude's a phenomenal athlete, but hey, man, athleticism only goes so long when it comes to a winning culture or winning. You know what I mean?
Mhm. So projections have the 49ers finishing first place in this division. And people may try to defend the 49ers by saying uh, that Christian McCaffrey was injured last season. Well, that's the thing, man. Like I don't know how much I really trust his durability. If he can stay
No,
healthy, yes, the 49ers can definitely contend to win the division. But
I do not like, dude. I love Christian McCaffrey as a football player, but I think it's time to hang it up. I said this the other day in a live, I believe. I just don't. I'm not, bro. I know it was actually in a live last week or the week before. I The dude has only had he's played what 10 seasons. He's got 6,000 yards in 10 seasons. It's less than 1,000 yards a year, right? The guy has only played, I think, a collectively like 4 years out of 10 like actual seasons, and then you go and put together piece together his injury years, and it maxes out another year and a half, 2 years. So dude, your best of ability is availability, and I know the guy is great, and when the guy's on the field and he's not hurt and he's not a decoy for not being able to touch the ball, the guy is phenomenal. The guy is amazing, electrifying. The closest next thing would be Saquon, I think, out there in the field like that, and Derrick Henry. But the thing is, man, is the guy cannot stay healthy, and he just got the Achilles tendonitis. Dude, that's a lifelong thing, man. He never coming back from that.
right, and then once again, just getting rid of Debo, man. I think the 49ers have taken a step back a little bit. And I don't trust them this year. Give me the Rams to win this division, followed up by the Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers in last place.
I got the Rams. I got the Rams. I got the Rams, the Niners, Seahawks. No, Cardinals, Seahawks. I think the Cardinals will take a step. Like I said, I think this is where dude needs to rubber meets the road. Second and third interchangeable between the Cardinals and Niners. I just don't think the Niners have gotten that much worse. You know, we'll see though.
Yeah. Let's see here. NFC East, NFC South are the only two we haven't touched up on. NFC East, uh, the Eagles have won that division the last. They won last season and went 5-1 in that division. Um, I think what separates the Eagles and the Commanders is the Eagles' defense. The Commanders' offense scored just about the same amount of points per game last season, and the Commanders were below average in points allowed per game last season, while the Eagles ranked first points allowed per game in the NFL. The Eagles ranked first in points per game, opponent points per game, however you want to say it. And once again, Washington was below average in that category. I think that the Cowboys could win the division, but look, I've been a lifelong Cowboys fan. Anytime that I think that the Cowboys have a chance, they let me down, and I really do think that they have a decent chance this season getting Pickens. Um,
I like the Cowboys this year. I'm gonna
getting
give you a couple of reasons. You guys are very quiet over there. You guys are never quiet. Jerry's world is always loud. There's always somebody from the Cowboys or the organization is in the media. Always. Always, always, always. Every offseason, it's somebody's contract. It's something about Jerry Jones. It's something about his boy. It's something is always got, somebody's always got the Cowboys name in their mouth or running their mouth out there in Dallas, right? This year, after the change of coach, which, hey, Kansas City has had uh, family ties with his father. 30 years ago. Um, I like the coaching change, the culture. I think Jerry Jones. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Jerry Jones handed the reins over. I think Jerry Jones is letting this guy do what he needs to do. The culture has changed out there. I've seen the videos that I have seen, the media time that I have seen. Not only are you guys landing players and doing what you guys need to do, but they are actually having fun at OTAs, mini camps, and everything like that. That changes. That is a big thing in inside of a locker room, having fun and it not being out there playing pool or ping pong or whatever against your guys while you're trying to make halftime adjustments. Miami and some other team just did that as well, but you know, you guys are out there on the practice field laughing. You ain't got Michael Parsons out there having fun. He ain't out there on his podcast talking smack about his own organization. You guys have a different culture. I like you guys. I have you guys contending for the fucking division this year.
Yeah, I think when I look at NFC East division winners, the Cowboys. Let's see, the Eagles won it last season, and then it was the Cowboys, then it was the Eagles, and then it was the Cowboys. It seems to be either the Eagles or Cowboys, with the exception of 2020, Washington won, and 2015,
See,
Washington won.
and you guys, nobody in 20 years, I think it is, has ever. There's never been a repeat winner in 20 years in the East.
Hmm. Yeah, I've kind of noticed that. It's just flip flopping.
But see, with the emergence, I see what you're saying with the flip flopping right there with these two. But if you look at it though, the way that Washington was playing last year, I mean, I'm a little disappointed at how they've handled their offseason, to be honest with you. I thought they'd have been a little more aggressive and attacked in different ways. And maybe this is where Dan Quinn just falls. He can only get a team to this part, and then somebody else needs to take over. I don't know, but I think they definitely should have gone defensive in other directions than Debo. Just saying. But like I said, dude, I like Dallas's thing. I've actually came out on a couple podcasts and said Dallas is going to win the division over Philly.
I think it could happen, man, and I
That's
hope you're
I'm
right.
gonna say it's my way too early.
Okay. Yeah, no, I hope you're right. Being a Cowboys fan, but I'm trying just not to get my hopes up too much here.
In 20 years I've known you, I've never sat there and said this is your year.
Oh, you haven't, and yeah, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is your year, but I'm just saying that
It
this
could
might be
be.
that maybe not the Super Bowl year, but I'm just saying like I think in your division, I think this is all row or everything being all right and bearing that Dak can stay healthy. If Dak can stay healthy, I believe that you guys can contend and win that division. But it's all dependent on Dak. If Dak goes out, mm, it's a mess in Dallas. It'll be a mess.
What really concerns me about Washington is that they allowed the second most rushing yards per game last season. When you're in a division with Saquon Barkley,
Yep,
man, the
my point.
you have to clean that run defense up. If they can, they could take the division.
And that's my point, and that's what I was saying, dude. Is where I kind of just I'm disappointed in what they do, especially with Dan Quinn supposed to be in a defensive-minded coach, right? And then when his defense falls flat on its face in the NFC Championship game against Saquon Barkley, running all over them putting up 55 points on them, that they don't go and they don't address that situation. Instead, they go and try to get more firepower in the offense because that wasn't enough.
Right.
That makes no sense. So that's what I mean is maybe this is where like Dan Quinn, as good as Dan Quinn gets, because we've seen him coach before, right? We've also seen him be a defensive coordinator, and he's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. I think what happened is the situation with Michael Parsons went a little bit differently than what they wanted it to, and that's the reason why I think they were kind of hoping and praying on that situation and hanging everything up, and that's why they didn't go and get right. At least that's what it seems to me. But dude, maybe this is like I said. Maybe this is just as far as Dan Quinn can take teams. Is he can start to structure a good roster, but he cannot address certain situations that need to be done or make adjustments to a team. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the Eagles are good enough to repeat. I think you said something about 20. It's been 20 years since somebody repeated in this division. Looks like 2003, 2004 Eagles, probably back when they had like McNabb and stuff and T.O.
Andy Reid. They haven't done it since Andy Reid, and
Okay.
that's 20 years. The last time it was done was by Andy Reid when Andy Reid took the Eagles to four straight NFC Championship games and went and took them to the Super Bowl.
I think they repeat this year to win the NFC East again. Second place. Even though Washington does have that run defense problem, I think they oust the Cowboys for second place. Cowboys get third. Giants get fourth. So chalk again there for me. What do you think? You said Cowboys win the division,
Um,
and we haven't talked.
I'm just gonna play this one safe. I'm gonna say Philly, Dallas, um, Washington, and New York.
Okay, cool, cool. But yeah, for you New York fans out there, Giants.
Zip
I
zap.
think that they have potential with Russell Wilson. You have a better shot with Russell Wilson. I feel like than with Daniel Jones.
But how much more of a better situation do you have if it's
Right.
just the same team and you're just plugging in somebody different?
Yeah, not that not that much of a difference,
No,
but
I mean we've seen that happen in Denver with Russell Wilson. We've seen that happen in Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson. We've seen that happen now in New York.
yeah,
What is the difference? There, the one thing that has happened, yeah, sure, Pittsburgh made the playoffs, but guess what? That wasn't all Russ. I mean, Justin Fields went out there and won four or six games, something like that.
yeah. I mean, I think the Jets have a better chance to do good this year than the Giants, but uh,
Well, see that defense for the Giants. If the Giants have any success, that's where it's going to be, and that's what's going to get them through it. And that's the same thing that Russ just has found the last few years with Denver, Pittsburgh, and now the Giants is on paper really good defenses.
that's sure a good point. Giants do have a good, decent defense there on paper, man.
Yeah, maybe Brian DeBoer can help Russ like he did. I mean, if they can get a good offensive line, but like you said earlier, what was their line? 26th, 28th, their offensive line.
Yeah, it was
Daniel Jones didn't do so well. Now
down there,
Daniel Jones is going to a better offensive line.
and
Russell
it did.
Wilson has always had, well, that's not really even true though. Russ hasn't always had like too great of a line. He's always had he's always kind of been on the run. But that is his style of gaming though. So mm,
Russell Wilson. Um, just trying to see how often Russell Wilson gets sacked. Man, once again, new offensive line. We'll see, man. We'll see. Yeah, give me Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. There.
I'm just not and the same thing with like JD5, like the rookie. There's more film on him. Second year. People kind of, they could, there's a better chance they found him out. So let's just, I can't put them over Dallas. You know, just
Mm,
in that sense. Rookies, we know just Sam Darnold and good rookies, bro. Name some good rookies. Some mediocre and bad players can have a 1 year wonder bust after that. So I got to see growth. I got to see continually.
yeah, I hear you, man. Last division, NFC South, Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, Saints. I don't know if you're on a like time limit or anything, but Buccaneers have won this division the past four seasons. Their offense was in the top five in points per game last season. I don't see that changing much this season. The defense for the Falcons, Panthers, and Saints are projected to be near the bottom of the barrel this season. The Buccaneers went 4-2 in the division last season. They did lose to Atlanta both times, um, but Atlanta started Cousins in those games, right? So now, or at least in one of those games. Now, who do you? I think my sleeper pick for this division depends on who will be better, uh, Penix or Bryce Young. I'd have to lean towards Penix having a better season, so I'm gonna make Atlanta my sleeper pick for this division. But I do like the Bucks winning it.
Yeah, I like so the Saints. I don't. They're at the bottom of the barrel. Um, but man, between the Bucks, I like the dark horse, the sleeper with Atlanta. I like Michael Penix this year. I'm really intrigued to see what he can do. And then but I have the Bucks winning that, right? And then we got Carolina, right? Um I have Carolina and so I got it going Tampa. Um Man, I got to see more of Bryce Young. I liked what I seen with him, at the end of the year, mid
Yep,
to end of the year, but I need to see more.
showed some promise, right?
Yeah, so like, dude, that division's so trash. Um, I think Tampa will win it, and it's really a toss up just to see who can make that growth between Penix and Young, Bryce Young. So interchangeable 2-3 between the two, and then fourth being the Saints.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be too chalky, man. So I mean, I'm going to be in this division though: Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, Saints. So I mean, overall, I think everything that's supposed to happen will happen for the most part, except the NFC West. I don't like the 49ers this season. I do like the Rams to win that division. Um, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs. We all have those three. We both have those three. Texans to win the division. Lions. Do you have the Rams winning the NFC West or 49ers?
Yeah, I got them Rams. They're actually like way too early. A lot of us picked the Rams to win the division and go to the Super Bowl, and one person picked them to win the Super Bowl.
Now, if you were to pick like a sleeper team this season to do good from the AFC, who comes to mind to possibly win the conference?
Oh, in the AFC,
Hmm. I got to go with the Broncos, man. I hear their defense
man,
is supposed to be one of the best. They picked up Evan Ingram. I think if Dobbins and Harvey can show good production in the backfield, I really think Denver can make a run with Sean Payton. And I thought that last season too. I thought that last season, uh, shoot, I mean Denver scored first against Buffalo in the playoffs, but I guess Bo Nix was dealing with like a broken rib cage or something.
uh,
Rib.
yo,
Be excited to see what he does this year if he's fully healthy and with an arguably better team and more experience.
Yeah, this year's gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna be telling a lot about franchises and possibility of the coaching carousel and who's moving where. Because I think if some teams don't succeed this year, I think you're gonna see a lot of different faces in different places.
Yeah,
Just saying. It's gonna be a good year, man.
yeah. Um, do you got to get going, JB?
I mean, yeah, I got. I'm doing my thing.
Still.
Yeah, I'm doing my thing. Yeah, if you gotta go, you gotta go. That's fine with me.
Yeah, let me hop off the horn.
Yes,
horn.
sir. Like Joe.
Uh, I'll probably do something with baseball tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do that
All right,
about the
man.
same time.
All right,
That's
cool.
cool.
Sounds good.
All right, y'all.
All right,
This is
later,
not
bud.
Move Podcast. JB Sport Talk. Better betters. We're out.
Peace.